Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be breaking down UFC 329. We're going to start off with the prelims, and honestly, I think that these are the best prelim card of the year. Maybe one of the better prelim cards I've seen in a long time. Right? You have Luke Riley, maybe a future champion. Cody Garbrandt, an ex-champion. Gable Stevenson, another future champion. Robert Whitaker, another ex-champion. Right? So I think Luke Riley will win. I think Adrian Yanez will beat Cody, but you can't really ever count Cody out, right? He was the best bantamweight to ever walk this earth for one night, and then the best bantamweight died the next. Now in UFC 329, starting off with the prelims, I honestly think this is probably one of the best prelim cards that we've had all year. Probably one of the best prelim cards that I've seen in a long time, right? You have Luke Riley, who might be a future champion. You've got Cody Garbrandt, who's an ex-champion. Gable Stevenson, who might be a future champion. Robert Whitaker, who is an ex-champion, right? So I think that this is one of the best preliminary cards. I think Luke Riley will win, Adrian Yanez will win, Gable Stevenson will win, and Robert Whitaker will win. The main one I want to focus on is Robert Whitaker, because we're seeing him go up to the light heavyweight division. The only people to beat Robert Whitaker in the last, I don't know how long, is who? Israel Adesanya, the Ryder, and Hamzat. Those are the only three people to pick up wins over him. So I think Robert Whitaker will be able to hold his own in the light heavyweight division. I don't know how far he'll be able to go. I don't know if he'll make it to a top 15, top 10, top 5. But I don't think he'll be able to become a champion at the division. I think the guys will just be a little bit too big for him. But maybe he proves me wrong. But I do think Robert Whitaker will win his debut in the light heavyweight division. Um, but yeah, those are my picks in the preliminary cards. Now we're gonna move on to the main card. I like Terrence McKinney. I don't really like King Green, Bobby Green, whatever. 40, 47, 45, 470, whatever. I don't like King Green. I've always liked Terrence McKinney, but Terrence McKinney is very good offensively, but he does make a lot of defensive mistakes. And King Green is one of the better strikers in the UFC. Now we've seen him get beat by a lot of guys more recently, but that doesn't disqualify how good his striking really is, right? But I'm going to take Terrence McKinney. Now, this is one of the ones I'm very excited for, the Corey Sandhagen versus Mario Batista, because this is a rematch. Corey Sandhagen has beat Mario before, right? Mario's only got 3 losses. Corey Sandhagen is one of them. I love Corey Sandhagen. He's one of my more favorite fighters, especially in the bantamweight division, but it's hard to beat a guy twice. We've seen that everywhere. So I'm kind of leaning towards Mario Batista. I think Corey Sandhagen could definitely win, but the thing Corey Sandhagen is great about is exploiting people's weaknesses. So when Corey Sandhagen goes against a grappler, he knocks him out. When he goes against a striker, he takes him down and controls him. Right? I think Mario Batista is good everywhere. So I think that will give Corey Sandhagen some more problems than we've seen him have previously with other guys. So I'm going to take Mario Batista, but I would not be surprised if Corey Sandhagen won. Paddy Pimblett versus Saint Denis. So I watched Saint Denis at UFC 299, I want to say it was. I watched him live fight Dustin. I think Saint Denis is a exceptionally great fighter. I think this is going to be an all-out war, but I do think Paddy Pimblett will win it. I think when we look at Paddy's losses, who's he lost to? Justin Gaethje. Paddy Pimblett did better against Justin Gaethje than Ilya did. Right, so we do have to give Paddy his credit. Now the problem is Paddy is a grappler. His striking's good, but it's not great. His defense is very questionable. So Paddy usually takes guys down. He's great at doing it, and when he gets them there, he can submit most guys. But Saint Denis was a grappler. Before he started knocking people out, he was a submission grappler. That's what people called him. So I think it'll be harder for Paddy to do to Saint Denis what he's done to everybody else, but I do think Paddy will submit Saint Denis. I do think it'll be a good fight. I'm not counting Saint Denis out, but I do think Paddy Pimblett will come out with the win. I think that sets him up for another good few fights after this and maybe getting a title shot pretty soon again. And then the one everyone's been waiting for, Connor versus Max. I got Connor. I know not many people are agreeing with that. Everyone's talking about Max Holloway and the long return of Connor McGregor. Right, so we have to understand a few things when we're talking about this. First, at the level that Connor McGregor reached, with how good he was, the timing, the accuracy, the everything Connor was, that doesn't just leave you. Right? Conor McGregor could not fight for 10 years and then go fight someone who's been pretty active in the UFC and win. Right? Maybe not a Max Holloway, but he could. right? That speed, that timing, those things don't just leave you, especially once you've done it at the highest of levels like Connor has. So I think Connor will go out there and that his timing will be there. I think his cardio was never the best, but I do think he'll have cardio like he did before. I don't think he's going to gas out in the first round. So Max Holloway, people talk a lot about the 5 years that Connor's been gone and how Max has been active. But you also have to understand in those 5 years, Max has taken damage. Max has gotten knocked out for the first time, right? We've never seen that from Connor. We've never seen Connor get slept. We just saw Max get slept not too long ago by Ilya, right? So those 5 years that, yes, Connor was on the couch doing steroids and doing coke, Max Holloway was fighting and taking damage on his body, which over time gets to you. So yes, as Conor McGregor's been gone for 5 years, Max Holloway has been taking damage for 5 years. Now, which one's worse? Max Holloway's timing and precision will probably be a slight bit sharper than Connor's will, but Connor's ceiling is so high. If he's got that timing, if he's got that, Connor will starch Max. This isn't the old Max that can't get knocked out. We've now seen it. Max is 34, Connor's 37. There's a little bit of an age gap, but Connor's already beat Max before. Like I said earlier, it's hard to beat the same man twice. But with how long ago they fought, they're not the same men. This is a completely different fight, completely different way that they move, the size. I also think one thing that's going to hurt Max Holloway is that this is at 170 pounds, right? Connor's fought at 170 pounds 2 times. Max has never fought at 170. So if Max, as one of the greatest featherweights of all time, goes up to lightweight, yeah, he knocked out Justin Gaethje. He got hit a good bit in that fight, but then he goes against Ilya and he gets knocked out, right? Ilya's a small 155er. Now, yes, he's got dynamite in his hands, but so does Connor, right? And now you're taking Max Holloway up 2 weight classes, right? Max Holloway was a 145er, went up to 155, and this is his debut at 170. This is Connor's second fight at 170. On top of the fact, Connor's been gaining weight to build up to 170 for years. He's been on the roids. He's been at the parties, eating the food. He's been up in weight. So Max Holloway, simply, there's no way Max is bigger than Connor or stronger than Connor right now, because he hasn't had the 5 years like Connor has to really move up into that weight class. So I think Conor McGregor will starch Max in the second round with a left hand. I'm pretty confident in that pick. Most people are going to disagree. Most people are going to take Max Holloway, and I would not be surprised if Max Holloway went out there and put a beating on Connor. But I just have that feeling. If you remember Conor McGregor back in his day, if you're watching his interviews, the way he's talking, this is Conor. This is that man. So I think Conor will come out with this win. I think it will set him up to have a few more fights at the 170 division. I don't think, like he said, he'll go back down on 155. But I don't think he'll be able to become the champion at welterweight. All the other guys are too big. But I do think he can beat Max Holloway. This is a perfect matchup for him. You take a 155er and you take him up to 170 and you make Conor fighting, right? So I think Conor does have the advantage. I think Conor will win this fight by knockout. Controversial opinion. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. But that's my predictions for the UFC 329 card. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all soon.